Hey my rays of sunshine, welcome back for another video. Today's video is very exciting because we are doing a 24-hour readathon. Now, everybody on the booktube loves the 24-hour readathons, and let me tell you, I am also one of those people. Cannot deny it. However, I also suck at doing them. Today, though, we are going to still go and try to do one anyway. Me and my besties, we all live in different areas of the country or in different countries, and so when we hang out with each other, we always have to go on Discord in a video call or just chatting online. And so my bestie Allie is doing a 24-hour readathon. She's hosting it on our Discord server. So I thought, I don't have any plans this weekend. My boyfriend is working. What better time to spend my weekend than to do a 24-hour readathon with my besties? There's nothing better than that. So let's go ahead and go over the books that I hope to read. I'm not calling it a TBR because I cannot do TBRs to save my life. So typically when I read, I like to do 3 books at one time. I like to do one physically, I like to do one on my Kindle, and I like to listen to an audiobook. So I have 3 books that I hope to make some good progress in, one that I hope to finish. So the first book is on my Kindle, and that is The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee with the co-creator Michael Dante DiMartino. And as you can tell by my tattoos, I am a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan. Like, it's literally my favorite show of all time. And so when I saw that books were being released for the previous avatars that were mentioned in the show, I had to hop on that wagon so fast. This is a reread for me, and I am so glad that I'm taking the time to reread it because I was about to jump into book 2, which is The Shadows of Kyoshi, without basically any remembrance of what happened in this book. So I am glad that I took the time to reread it. I have about 3 hours left of this book, and I'm so glad to see that because I have been trudging through this book. I love Avatar Kyoshi. She is my literal favorite avatar of all time. It's just this book was really slow for me to get into, even though like there was a lot happening, like a lot of tragic things were happening to Kyoshi, and getting to learn like how she gets to where she is and how she grew up. It's really interesting to read about, but I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because the chapters are long or what, but I was struggling to get through this. And now to see that I only have 3 hours left, the goal is to finish this today because I want to hopefully jump into book 2 very soon, because they also just released books about Yang Chen, and they're also releasing books about Roku. So I am just anxious to get through this book and continue on with the other Avatar books so that way I can hopefully catch up before the Roku book comes out. The book that I'm currently reading physically, and I've been reading for also quite some time, is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I've seen so many videos of this book recently, and I have been waiting to pick it up, and I thought now's the time. And let's see, I'm about 217 pages into this book, so almost halfway. I'm on chapter 25, and I'm really enjoying it so far. If you do not know what this book is about a girl named Brie, and at the very beginning of the book, her mother passes away, and she is going through the steps of grief, and she does not want to be home. She doesn't want to spend time with her dad. She just wants to get away. And then she gets accepted into UNC Chapel Hill as an early college student, and she takes that as her opportunity to be able to go and get away from her town and her mom's death and all of that. And on the first night that she's there, she's at this college party, and she witnesses an attack to find out that her school has a secret society that is following the Knights of the Round Table. I'm not going to go much more into it than that because that's all I really knew about it going in. So far, I have really enjoyed the story. There's a little bit of romance in there that I've been liking. I've really enjoyed learning about the Arthurian legend and just the different lines and knights, how the secret society works and how the families work, and it's all been really interesting, but also really confusing. You know, as I dive deeper into it, I'm hoping that I will get more of a grasp on it. So as we continue on, we'll see how it goes. I do not plan to finish this book this weekend. All I want to get is maybe 75% of the way through. I know I'm not going to finish it. I just want to make a really good dent into it. If I get tired of physically reading and I want to listen to an audiobook, I'm going to continue listening to Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott. This book, y'all, it's like no other book I have read ever. When I bought this book, I just knew that it was very popular at the time. Like, it was getting all these raving reviews, and I also knew that it follows Jewish folklore, and I thought that was really interesting. I'm not going to tell you a lot about what this book is about because I barely knew anything going in. This book follows the Yaga siblings, Isaac and Bellatine, and they find out that their grandmother has passed away and she has left them an inheritance. But this isn't just some tiny inheritance, no. She leaves them a walking, living house. And Bellatine names the house Thistlefoot. Now, Isaac doesn't want anything to do with Thistlefoot, so he decides to tell Bellatine that if she makes the house into a theater, a traveling theater where they can put on puppet shows that their parents used to put on, he would sell her his share of the house. And that's basically all I know so far and all I understand. Listening to the audiobook for this has been such a delight. It is probably my favorite audiobook ever. I'm not a huge audiobook girly, and it really takes a lot for me to be able to hone in and focus on what's happening in the story. This book, though, the narrator does such an amazing job. The narrator does all of these different accents, and she sings when Bellatine is singing, and she speaks Yiddish, and she has a different voice for Thistlefoot. So it's just like, it really whisks you away into the atmosphere of this book, which is kind of dark, but this book is just truly unlike anything I have ever read to or listened to before. And I am so excited to keep diving into this and learn more about the characters and the house and the story. When I do get bored of physically reading or get tired, I might listen to this audiobook to do some journaling or crocheting or something just to keep me active and going. Now that I've talked your ear off on all the books that I hope to read in this 24-hour period, or at least make some progress through, I think we are ready to get started and meet up with the besties and get reading Kyoshi. Hey y'all, so it's been a couple hours. It's about 6 o'clock now, and me and my family are heading out to go get some dinner, so I figured I'd take this opportunity to update you on my progress with The Rise of Kyoshi. I am 83% of the way through now on the chapter The Challenge. I feel like I'm reading it a lot faster now. Like I said at the beginning of the book, it was really slow, even though like I already love this world, I love the characters, I love Kyoshi. So when I was like trudging through the first half of this book, I was like, oh no, I really hope this isn't like a really low rating book. But as we've gotten further and just watching Kyoshi become who she is with the makeup and the fans and just the whole Kyoshi warrior attitude, it has just been so much fun to read about, and I'm having a great time now. But I'm really curious as to where the story is going to go now. It just took a really interesting turn, so I'm wondering if we're going to dive deeper into it or if they're saving that for the second book. But I guess we will see as I continue to trudge through the end of this book. And yeah, I'm overall just having a really great time with my friends. Allie was here for a while. Actually, she just came back, and Nat's here, and so we're all kind of just having a great time reading together. It is getting nighttime for some people in other time zones though, so the amount of people who are joining us is quickly decreasing, but you know, it'll still be a great time. And I am getting really sleepy though, so when I come back from dinner, hopefully that will refresh me a bit, but if not, I probably am going to take a break to listen to Thistlefoot and crochet a case for my Kindle actually. So I will catch you guys later when I get back from dinner. Hey y'all, so we are back from dinner. It has been a couple of hours. It is now 8:30, so I've definitely munched into my time a little bit, but that's okay. It was a well-deserved break. We went to a nice cafe for dinner. I got a chicken salad sandwich. It was pretty good, but I am definitely more awake now. It is time to get back into reading, but first I wanted to take a couple minutes to do a really tiny unboxing for you. I have two packages, one from Thrift Books and one is my book of the month. So I just figured we could do that real quick and then I could jump back into reading with my friends. Let's go ahead and unbox these packages. So I went ahead and opened the boxes already to prevent the time it would take for me to unbox these. So the first book is A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne. I have no idea what this book is about, but it is our Besties buddy read for the month of May. My friend Sunny picked this out. All Sunny told me was that it is written by the same author who wrote The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. And even if you've never read that book before, hopefully you've seen the movie. That movie is so sad. And Sunny has actually read this before and she rated it 5 stars and said it's like one of those books that makes you really angry. So we're gonna see what it's about. Let's go ahead and read the back. It says, Maurice Swift is handsome, charming, and hungry for fame. The one thing he's missing is talent, but a would-be writer can find or steal stories from anywhere. Roving from the Amalfi Coast to Manhattan and London, he preys on the talented and vulnerable in a cold-blooded climb to the top. But the higher he climbs, the farther he has to fall. Kind of gives me the same vibe reading that blurb as Yellowface. Haven't read Yellowface, but I definitely want to. I've heard such amazing things. All right, and then the second book is my book of the month pick for this month. And I am excited for this one, but I'm also kind of nervous just based off of Sarah Caroli's review because she just read this recently. But it's 5 Broken Blades by Mai Corlin. I don't really know too much about the synopsis. I think she was talking about how like all the characters are said to be liars. Sarah Caroli said in her review that this book suffers from a lot of telling rather than showing, so I am a little skeptical now, but I'm just hoping that it is going to be a really good fantasy. Hopefully I'll like it. I want to go into it completely blind, so we're not going to read the synopsis, but yeah. Oh, did you hear that? That crack was like satisfying but not at the same time. Oh, got a map. Love a good map. This was my pick for book of the month for the month of May. The bookmark, emotional support bookmark. There you have it. Those are the 2 books that I had to unbox for you. Now it is time to join my friends back on Discord. They are currently spamming me and they're ready for me to get back with them. So I will see you guys when I finish The Rise of Kyoshi. Bestie Allie living her best life over here. Sing it, girl. Sing it. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. It is a rainy, stormy Saturday, so it is going to be a great day for reading and finishing up this readathon. It is currently 10 a.m., so we still have a bunch of time to go. But before we get into reading for today, I figured I would take some time to update you on my progress so far because we've made some strides, all right? So last night I was able to stay up until 2 a.m. with my friends, and while we did get distracted quite a bit, I still was able to accomplish my goal, as y'all saw, of finishing The Rise of Kyoshi by FCE. I am going to settle on a 3-star for this book, and that pains me to say because the first time I read this, I read my rating and I gave it 5 stars. So the fact that it did not hold up is really quite disappointing for me. There were certain moments where it was super fast-paced and Kyoshi was being awesome and like using her fans, and you saw lightning bending in this book, and like just so many things, so many cool things would happen at one point, and then all of a sudden after that happened, it just slowed down so much and it dragged, and the ending of this book was so long. Like, I felt like last night when I was reading it, I would finish a chapter and I'd be like, okay, it has to be the end now, and then come to find out there'd be another chapter. Like, my friends were like, come on, keep trudging, it's gotta be almost done, and I kept going and going and going, and luckily I did finish it. I just feel like this book did not need to be this long. I feel like it could have shortened the beginning or shortened the end, or just somewhere some things could have been cut out. It was very detailed and I loved that because I did love learning about Kyoshi and her life and how she got to be who she is. Still 3 stars. I'm still planning to continue on with the series and read the other books, and I made the eensy tiniest progress in Legendborn. I read a tiny bit. I read 1 chapter, but I thought it was a good update point because now I'm on part 3 as my bookmark falls out. I think this is the part where we are really going to start learning about Bree and her mom and her family, because so far we are still getting bits and crumbs, but you're learning more about the secret society and the Knights of the Round Table. So you're learning about all that, but you've only gotten bits and pieces of what Bree's mom did in her lifetime and how she's involved with everything. So I'm really thinking that this part is going to be the part where we really dive into Bree's family history and her type of magic and everything that she has going on for her. So I'm really excited to just sit and binge this book. That's another thing I didn't get to mention. This book is very bingeable. I read a ton of it when I was on a really long car ride last weekend, so I feel like I have no problem with meeting my goal for this, which is to reach maybe 75%. I don't think I'm going to finish it, like I said, but that would be cool if I did. With all of that being said, I am going to take a shower, and then after that, we will get into binging some Legendborn before the readathon is over. I'll catch up with y'all later. Alright friends, it's official. The readathon is over. It is now a little bit past 4 o'clock. So we're going to take a couple minutes to wrap up what I was able to read in these 24 hours. Now, I did not make both of my goals, but I got pretty close. So first, as we saw in the update earlier, I did end up finishing The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee. This is going to sit at a 3-star, mostly because of pacing issues that I had. I will continue on with this series. However, I think I just need a little bit of a break before I go into The Shadows of Kyoshi. So that was goal number 1 met. Here's the thing. I did not meet my goal for Legendborn. However, I can feel this book becoming my new obsession. I can feel it in my veins that this is going to be a 5-star now. The first half of the book, I was like, okay, yeah, it's good. We're getting to know the characters, getting to know the world, the magic system. Oh yeah, that's all fun. Part 3 is where it really kicked off. We're getting a love triangle now, at least I'm like 98% sure. We're getting a lot of history, both Black history and Arthurian legend. It's just diving deeper and there's more drama that's happening. And I have just grown to really love Bree. She's just feisty and she's determined to figure out what happened to her mom and really find out who she is, but she is also really struggling with this deep grief. And we're at this point in the book where she is in such big denial and she really feels that doing all of these things and fighting in these trials in this secret society will get her the answers that she needs. She really just wants to find those answers for her mom, and it's really heartbreaking to see, but at the same time, like, I can't help but admire her dedication. And I'm also just really growing to love the side characters, like just the relationship that she has with Greer and Whitty and William, but then seeing other side characters who she really doesn't get along with and her reactions to their comments, because she just doesn't take any of their garbage. I am swooning over this possible love triangle because she already has a relationship with the MMC in this character, but now there's another side character. They really couldn't stand each other, but now it's hinting that he's growing feelings for her. So with all of that being said, since I am now currently becoming obsessed with this book, I really don't want to end this vlog without finishing it. So my goal is to finish this book today. I am now on chapter 36, page 332, and there's 490 pages in this book. That's pretty hefty for me, but I am determined. So I'm going to keep you guys updated, and we'll even see if I finish it at the end of the night tonight, but I am planning to stay up until I finish this book because I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I don't know what else to say. So those are my stats for the 24-hour readathon, and we're gonna keep going. I guess I fooled you because this was supposed to end at the end of the readathon, but I can't give up without finishing this book. So we're gonna keep going, and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, hey y'all. It is a lot later. It's like 10 p.m., but I've been getting through this book. I've been binging it literally all day, and I'm getting really close to the end. I have like about 50 pages left, and my friend Momo said that these 50 pages are like really reaction worthy. So I figured I would just film the rest of my journey reading this book. Just sit back, relax. I'm gonna be here reading. I'm currently on chapter 51. So yeah, grab a snack, grab some beverage of some sort, and we are gonna just get into it. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Oh my god. Alright, so here's the thing. I have already recorded this outro once, and then I took a step back and I realized that my mind is constantly going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And because of that, when I filmed the first outro, I spoke super fast, and I realized that I really didn't dive deep into all the things that I had to say about finishing Legendborn. I did end up staying up until 11 and finishing this book. It is a 5 out of 5 star book. It does not, in my opinion, deserve any lower than that. I'm happy that I get to say that, because at the very beginning, the first half of this book, I really was like, you know, they're building up everything, and I'm just not really sure if I'm understanding the magic system. And I was having all these thoughts in my head, you know, this is going to be a 3-star. Then I got to the second half of this book and everything just really took off. And I really just wanted to refilm this outro to take a second to talk about the complexities and the things that I really enjoyed about this book. And one of those things is the topics that it talks about, the deep topics, especially when it comes to grief. In this book, it talks about how at the beginning of the book, Bree loses her mom in a car accident, and that's in the first chapter. It's not a spoiler. And basically throughout the book, she talks about how because of this, Bree basically splits herself into 2 types of people. She has before Bree and after Bree. And it's basically going into the kind of different people that Bree was before the death of her mom and the aftermath of losing her mom. I really just enjoyed watching Bree, this sounds kind of harsh, but go through this grief and go through the steps of realizing that you have to think about the times that you were with your mom and when your mom was alive, and think about the love of her life and not the aftermath of losing her. And so just being able at the end of the book to see Bree finally come to terms with losing her mom and realizing that before Bree and after Bree were the same person, and really like embracing it. That's the word that I'm looking for. And embracing that before Bree and after Bree are together the same person, because without before Bree, there couldn't be after Bree, and vice versa. And then another thing that I really wanted to dive deeper into was how interesting the history of this book is because this book dives a lot into Black history. And I, in high school, took AP US history, and when you take classes like that and you learn about US history, you really think that you do know about the complexities of Black history, especially in terms of slavery. Like, we all know that slavery was a thing. We all know that it was often cruel and violent and disgusting. But I love the fact that Tracy Deonn does not shy away from this fact. She has these scenes where you really get to see the aftermath of slavery and what being a Black slave was like with a white plantation owner, and it is just really sickening to read about, and it really makes me take a step back and think about the fact that we can think all we want. This goes for anybody. We can really think all we want that we know the history of what these people went through, but until you really experienced it or have ancestors that really experienced it, you'll never fully know. You will just really scratch the surface of it. And reading this book has really opened my eyes, because reading through the perspective of Bree and her learning about her family history and the fact that, you know, all of them were slaves and all of them experienced violence in sexual ways, in physical ways, in mental ways, it was really just a hard-hitting read for me. And it just opened my eyes to a new perspective of reading it from a Black character's point of view. And for that, I really just wanted to refilm this outro and talk about it, because I just came back from the bookstore and bought Bloodmarked, because the way that Tracy Deonn takes this history, this Black history, and the Arthurian history and legends and weaves them together into one story was just the most fascinating and eye-opening experience I've ever had. So if you have not read Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, I really could not recommend it enough. The story is engaging, the characters are fun, and they are all complex, I'm sure, in their own ways when we get to read more about them in book 2. The plot twists at the end, the fight scenes, it was just everything, and it truly deserves a 5 out of 5 stars. It has now taken a top spot on my shelf and is now considered one of my favorite series, and I haven't even read book 2 yet. If you enjoyed watching this video, please go ahead and leave a like and comment down below a sunshine emoji to let me know you stuck it through all the way, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos by me. I hope y'all have a very sunny day, and I love y'all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.